Welcome to Omahomies. Let's catch up. I'm Ben.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Raegan.
This week we're asking ourselves the question, what makes a good job? But first, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty well. It's been a lot of chilling and finishing up with school, but it's been very taxing, even though this is probably the least amount of school I've ever had to do in my life. And I just couldn't imagine if I had to do more of it because I don't think I could.
Yeah. How about you, Raegan? How are you doing?
I wrote a 15-page paper today. So,
Wow. All of it? All 15 pages?
Well, I had 4, so like 11.
That's still 11 pages. That's insane.
I would write about like 1 page a day.
My record is 5.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That is impressive.
But I'm officially done with science in the
Wow.
lab, so...
In the was the paper 4?
Oh, no. The paper was for my social inequalities class. And I was talking about healthcare in the United States. And
Wow.
how it's a joke.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. Why'd you say it like that?
Are you gaslighting me?
I'm not gaslighting you. It is interesting.
Yeah. But how's Ben doing?
I'm doing good. I'm one of my classes is over, so now it feels like all my classes are over, but they're not.
That's classic Ben.
Yeah, mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do actually.
Mentality.
I do have a story for you guys. Just to kick things off. So, today after work, I was craving some nachos, and I texted Raegan and I said, "Hey, babe, I'm feeling nachos."
That's not what you said.
No,
What did you say?
No,
I just said.
no, this is what he said. I'll just read it to you.
And Zach and I will look at each other until Raegan finds it.
Yeah, I kind of have to look back and forth.
All he said was, "What do you want for dinner?" And then
But-
I said, I don't know. What do you want?
I don't know what you want.
And he said, well, what I really want is nachos.
So you knew when you asked her that you were gonna get nachos.
I've been feeling nachos for the past.
Then why did
2
you ask
days.
her what she wanted?
Well, I'm not just gonna say,
That
"Hey,
doesn't
nachos
matter.
are for dinner."
You could say, "How would you feel about nachos?"
I give
for
my
dinner?
woman a choice in the relationship.
No, that's not something you usually do.
That's so nice of you. I love that I have options in 2023 as a woman
I would
in a
never deprive you
domestic
of that.
relationship.
Of course. So
And that answer was, "I don't know."
yeah, and
Yeah, because I don't cook.
yeah. But it
He
was
pretty brown though.
yeah. It was late, so
I browned the hamburger.
Okay, all right. Enough. But yeah, I get out of work pretty late, and so it was kind of an inappropriate time to go out to get nachos. So I was like, well, I'll just go to the store and get some nachos. And Raegan can attest to this. When I leave for work, I often have to pee. And it's so easy for me to just go pee
Before you start driving?
before I start driving. It's just that I don't feel it until I sit down in my car. And like I sat down in my car.
Do
I'm
you
like,
think it's the way you're positioned, or do you think it's just
for sure.
Yeah, it says sitting motion.
Yeah. It's the sitting motion.
it
Well,
squeezes.
because I feel like, and it's just me, but like when I'm laying down or standing up, I don't have to pee as much as I am sitting straight up. You know,
There is a
it's
little
the
bit of a
pressure on the
fold.
bladder.
I guess.
Yeah.
So I sit down in my
I think I heard
car
about that.
and I'm like, man, I gotta go. And so, and the store is not that far away from my work. I honestly probably could go to a closer store, but the one I like to go to after work is probably like a 5 to 8 minute drive. Okay.
Depending on the traffic.
So my bladder is at like 75%.
That's not even that much.
That's kind of a lot. If you're taking full on as you're about to pee your pants.
Okay. So my bladder being at 75%, I start driving. And every inch down the road, that percentage is creeping up until about like I'm probably like 5 minutes away from the store now. So I'm going to say it's an 8 minute drive. I'm 5 minutes away from the store. I am at a red light with my foot so hard on the brake with my I'm thrusting my pelvis into the air because I have to pee so bad.
What does it usually increase to this level so quickly?
No, it doesn't.
No. So I feel like when I initially started driving, I was like, it's not that bad. And then for some reason I just hit every red light on the way. And so I'm sitting there at the red light, like almost like crying. Like it's so bad. I've never had to pee this bad. I'm like using my hand in a motion that I'm glad the podcasters can't see, but I'm like doing this to my bladder area.
Stop.
Just pressing on it, trying to get it to like, not come out. And okay, so the light turns green, I'm going. And the only thing in my head I can think of is like, oh my God, if I get pulled over right now, I'm gonna pee my pants. like that's how bad it was. I could not hold it for the life of me. And
how close are you to the store at this point?
Like 3 minutes. Like
Time passes really slow and you have to pee.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about that. It feels a little bit better. There's 3 turns to get into a parking spot. I do the first turn. I kind of feel like my bladder's going to explode. The second turn, I'm like, oh my God, if I don't get into the bathroom right now, it's going to run down my leg. I make the third turn.
Oh no.
Did you pee in your pants a little?
I make the third turn.
Oh.
I put my car into brake.
Brake?
I let my foot off the brake. Park, yeah. I let my foot off the brake. The second my foot comes off of the brake, a little rocket of piss shoots out. And I can visually like see what it looks like going onto my underwear. It's like a slow motion, like no, and I'm just like, God damn it, and like I'm like, okay, I don't want to look. I don't want to look because if I know that I have a piss stain on my pants, I'm just gonna feel like a loser. So I get out of my car, I run, grab a cart, put it right in front of my crotch.
Thinking, well, how much did that relieve?
Not at all. It was just a little spit. It wasn't. When I got to the bathroom, I did look down. It was not enough to make a stain on the outside.
That's good.
But because sometimes I get that feeling. You ever get that feeling when like you think you've peed when you really have to? You think you let like a little dribble out, but really you're fine.
I actually don't have that problem.
I've gotten that sensation a couple times. Yeah, so I finally relieved myself.
Was it the best?
It was the best. I was
Was it worth it?
Head to the sky, palm to the Lord.
Did you like Tarantino it? Did you have both your hands up against the wall?
Wait, were you
I'm
standing?
too sanitary for that.
Were you standing
Of
or
course.
did you sit down?
If I had tried to sit down, more would have come out for sure. More would have come out for sure. Not enough time to pull them all the way down. And as I'm
Try
finishing,
being
Which is
a
how you
woman.
usually pee.
Try being a woman.
as I'm finishing, this is the end of the story. I zip up, walk over to the sink. Some guy in the handicap stall goes, "Man, you had to go."
You're like, buddy,
I thought I was
you have no
alone.
idea.
Stop, you're lying.
No, I thought I was alone the whole time. So I was going like, oh. Because who's in the bathroom at Hy-Vee at like 9 at night, you know?
Oh, man.
And I bet this is exactly what Ben said. Yup.
I was
Did
just
you
like,
say anything?
I was like, yeah.
Dude, who? I guess when you're hidden by the stall, you really could say anything.
Yeah.
and
For
be
sure.
fine.
Not like Ben was gonna stick his head under the door and be
Like,
like,
who said that?
"What'd
my
you say to me?"
God. Yeah, no, I don't think I could ever be that comfortable with someone.
Well, I'd for sure say that to you because we have.
Yeah,
Because it's hilarious.
We mess around in the bathroom all the time.
But if it was a complete stranger, no way.
No.
Maybe he recognized your stream and he thought it was his buddy.
Oh, yeah. He thought it was Buddy Mark. Like, yeah, I'll be right in. Yeah, no. So that was my pee story of the night.
That's nice.
Woof. Yeah, so I did change my underwear when I got home. I'm not still wearing the same underwear. Yeah.
I'm glad you made it with only a little bit of a tinge.
It was a small price to pay.
And now I know why your trip to the store took so long.
And how I got there so fast.
Dude, with those nachos?
The nachos were worth it. It was restaurant quality. Not as good as Good Life nachos from the restaurant The Good Life in Omaha.
Shout out. But would you rather have not peed your pants and not had nachos, or peed your pants and have nachos?
I think the nachos were worth the pee in the pants.
And it was a price you paid for all of us.
It wasn't that much, so it wasn't uncomfortable. Like I wasn't. Oh my God! If I had peed enough so that I could feel it while I was walking around, no, I would have. If it was enough to even get on the front of my pants, I would have just left immediately. Even though
you still had to pee,
there was a cop.
Oh.
There was a cop. Like Hy-Vee has cops.
He was checking drawers.
No,
as you were.
Yeah, he was checking my drawer. No, there's a cop for like each Hy-Vee, and this dude was sitting right in front of the entrance, like, "Good evening," and I was like, "Don't say anything."
No
to
pee
me.
tonight, sir. Right?
There's my balls are so full of pee right now. I'm so full of pee, my teeth are floating.
Gross.
No, but that's like the worst though, because like I couldn't even imagine. Like, you never think as an adult you'll be in that situation.
Yeah.
Where you're gonna have to, like, where you're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You just are stuck, and you're like,
No, I'll tell you what you do.
There are no other options.
I'll tell you what you do when you have to pee really bad.
Raegan, please tell the story. Please. You gotta.
But is it just pee story night?
I guess so, yeah. It's pee night.
This had to have been before Ben and I were living. This was before I moved in.
It was my first COVID shot.
Or your second?
It's kind of funny because
my first ever.
Because we had a pee story last time too. The Zeus.
Oh yeah, I guess for the piss cast.
Well, so what happened was I went with Ben so he could go get his COVID shot from the hospital, and Ben was like, "It's gonna be really quick. I'm just gonna run inside."
And it was 2020, like so.
Yeah.
So
Prime
the hospital was locked down. You had to be masked up, vaxxed up. I guess not really because the vax wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah.
But it was also like almost after hours too.
Wait, so you were
like,
just testing then?
No, I was getting my first ever shot.
And I like just rode with him, and Ben was like, "I'm gonna be in and out. I'll be right back." But it's dark outside. It's kind of cold.
It was like 9:30 in the winter time.
I'm just sitting in the car, and I'm like, man, Ben's been in there a while.
And I was, because like I thought it was going to be in and out. Like I thought I was just going to go in, get a shot. But Ben
has a tendency to just say things are going to be a certain way. And then
I guess
don't.
Yeah, I assumed that because I thought it was going to be in like a doctor's office, but it was in a giant conference room with a line.
But didn't they make you wait after? Because I had to wait.
They do make you wait 15 minutes. So I think.
So at bare minimum, it was going to be 15 minutes.
Exactly. Or like, 20, including the 5 minutes it takes to get a shot.
Ben had gotten his before I got mine, so I didn't like really know what to expect.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we had like gone to Starbucks prior to going there.
I think it was like a whole day of events. We were out at the store, we got lunch, we got coffee, stuff like that.
Yeah. And so it's dark, and I am like, man, I really gotta go. And I texted Ben, and he was like, it's gonna be a while. Like, I'm sorry. Like, there's a lot of people in here.
There were.
And I like wasn't just about to like get out of the car and venture into the hospital to be like, I have to pee. And so I'm like, okay, Raegan, like, think fast, right? Because, like, I held it. And I, like, texted Ben and I said, I'm going to walk to the gas station. Like, I have to go so bad.
And like around the hospital, there's nothing like.
Well, nothing's safe.
Yeah, it's all downtown. It's not, it's nighttime. Reagan's a sexy young woman.
Shut up. Yeah. So anyway, I eyeball my Starbucks, my empty Starbucks cup in the cup holder.
Those gears started turning.
And I put the passenger seat all the way back. I squatted in front of the passenger seat, so I was trying to like hide myself so no one could see me, and I popped the lid off the Starbucks cup and I just let it go. And there was so much pee in me, I had to cut the stream, crack the door open, dump the cup out, and then keep peeing in the cup.
God.
I think I heard about that part.
Yeah. And then I was like, trying to make sure no one was like could see me.
Yeah.
And then I was like trying to like pull my pants up really fast and sit back down. And then I just had to like sit there and
So
like
you were like squatting
yeah.
in like that little area.
Yes.
That's kind of impressive.
I could not do that today because of how big I am. Like I can barely even get in a normal like seat all the way back just because I'm so tall.
Yeah, no. Well then Ben finally came back out, and then I just like Ben was just like, "What did you do?"
No, I thought
you look different.
Because there was only one Starbucks cup, and I think we had just gone to Starbucks. That's what it was. Because I don't think I had finished my drink. There was like a little bit left in it.
She was like, "Try it."
Yeah.
And there was only one cup left, and I thought that was mine. And I was like, "Did you throw my cup away?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Where did you go? Like, what happened?" And I think I was like, "Oh, okay, let's go to the gas station. You have to pee." And you were like, "No, I don't. Just drive.
Yeah.
Just go." And then I had to connect the dots, and then I was like, "You peed in a cup?"
You were like, "What did you do?" And then I had to tell you, and you just were like,
I didn't believe you.
Yeah.
That just doesn't seem like the type of person you are. Especially we had only been dating for like 4 months.
I know, I was unhinged.
So how crowded was it? Were there a lot of cars around?
There
or like,
were a lot of
Yeah.
cars. Well, yeah, because it was all like.
Were the cars like? Did they have people in them?
Obviously, I didn't care.
I don't
Yeah.
think there would have been though.
Well,
I was
yeah, 'cause-
very scared that someone was gonna walk by the car and be like,
Yeah.
"What is this
Well,
girl doing?"
did you ever weigh the option that you might, instead of using the cup, you might just have to get out and squat next to the car?
Well, that's an offense. That's a
No.
federal
Oh, really?
offense.
Yeah, that's public
Being in a hospital?
indecency.
Public urination.
But like you're,
Oh.
it's
That's a whole another offense.
But I
yeah.
feel like it's still public urination
no.
if you're in your car.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think your car protects you from, because it'd still be indecent exposure if you were in your car, wouldn't it?
Well, obviously, it happened 3 years ago, and they haven't caught me for it yet.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, and they don't have. I don't think they would have cameras or
Yeah,
anything
and
to watch you.
And I work there now, so I got past screening.
Yeah, no, they
Didn't have
don't have
anything
your
to
face
pull up.
pasted up.
Right. I'll be like, I have a confession to
car
make.
pissers.
I peed in a cup in a car in the parking
Okay.
lot.
Like, you weren't doing it with ill intent. Like, I feel like if a cop did see it, I feel like they would understand.
Yeah. Also, compared to like the other stories I've heard from inside the hospital, I think it's not the worst thing they've ever seen.
Yeah, the nurse is just like, "Oh, just a normal day at the hospital."
Yeah.
Yeah. And I did it in a cup, not on the floor, so I have some decency.
Exactly.
But then you had to dump it out anyway. So it
It's
just ended up being...
Yeah.
What a waste of pee.
I should have made you drink it.
Okay. Moving on. That actually does bring us to a good point of our question today. That's a good segue because we do work at the hospital. But before that, we're going to take a quick break.
To pee.
To pee.
and drink water.
Okay. We'll be right back after the break. Summertime is here, and it's time to get out of those raggedy old spring clothes and into some hot, summer-ready Omahomies merch. Throw on an incredibly soft 100% cotton tee with your favorite podcasters on the front, and you'll be the talking piece of your next barbecue. Or rock out and stock up for the fall with an Omahomies World Tour hoodie. You'll have your friends thinking you thrifted a sick vintage hoodie for half the price of vintage clothing. Right now, all of our prices are reduced to make sure that you're getting into Omahomies merch without breaking the bank. So go now to omahomies.creator-spring.com. That's omahomies.creator-spring.com. Go find a fit that's right for you.
All right, we're back from the break, and now we're actually going to talk about today's question about what makes a good job.
What makes a good job? Well, Zach,
That's a good job.
Zach, what was your first job?
Back in the cornfields. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you wish. I see those old leathery hands you have.
Yeah, I used to work 25 hours a day.
I crush my legs in a 2x4 factory every single day, Snowflake.
My actual first job was at a little local game store.
Local game store?
Yeah, it's local.
Oh,
Why'd you say it like it wasn't?
I don't know.
Because Ben knows everything.
Aren't there?
Shop.
Well, we can say because since you don't work there anymore, who cares?
Yeah, it's gamers.
Say that without the MERS.
A lot. Dude, I can't.
Gamers.
Yeah, it was a local. Well, it still is. I drove past it the other day, and it was closed. And it was like
during
not,
the day?
and it wasn't like late.
Huh.
So I don't know. It's a long story. But I basically lost my job there because they just shut down out of nowhere because used media, physical media is not really a thing to a lot of people anymore. And yeah, right before we closed, we changed to only being open like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And that's how you know it's
Yeah.
going out of business.
And then like the next week. So I don't know if that's what's happening to them, but some dude basically bought the company and reopened it with the same name.
You mean to tell me that a local game store doesn't bring in that much revenue? What the hell?
Unless it's our favorite.
Yeah.
But
Dun, 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 dun,
yeah, so that
dun.
was my first job, and it was honestly not a bad job. I got paid minimum wage, so it was not good pay. But
No,
for
what was-
a first job?
What was it? What did you actually get paid? Like, what was minimum wage?
$9.
It was $9 an hour.
$9.
Yeah, I
even.
guess people might not know, but yeah, it was
Back in
$9
my
an
day.
hour, and I remember one time, a lot of people, like after a year, will get like a raise, maybe a few cents. When we worked there for a year, we got a coupon for a free shirt.
Oh. Was it a gamer's
Zach.
shirt?
No.
You mean they didn't just give you a free shirt?
No, we got one for free, but then
One for
Just
free?
one?
yeah.
How
And
many
then-
shifts were you working a week? And
Well,
how many times
here's
did you
the-
wash that shirt?
I think. Well, we had options to purchase another one.
Oh my god.
Well, no, because I ended up with a few because at my tenure there, they changed the logo, which a lot of people thought was a mistake. Because
That's
it
what
was just
led to them
completely-
closing.
Yeah, that was,
Yep.
that was it. But I don't know. It was just really wasn't ran very well because they only changed like the logo. It's a long story. But so I got a new shirt, I think, that was like that. I don't know. But then eventually when I became an assistant manager for like a few weeks and then they closed because everyone was leaving and stuff. And I think I got a raise then to like $12 an hour to be an assistant manager.
That's not bad. That's a $3 bump. That's not bad.
Yeah, but I had to like be at the store by myself and like open by
Oh.
myself sometimes, and I was like 18.
Oh, that's
So-
okay, but that's bullshit because that means that we were doing the same thing at the same time, and I was making $9 and you were making $12.
Yeah, I guess in that regard, but it just means yours was even worse.
Yeah.
But
We'll get to
then
mine later.
When I graduated to assistant manager, I got the same gamer shirt, but instead of being a t-shirt, it was a polo.
Oh my god.
And I still have it, I think.
Okay, I would rank on a tier list. I would rank a polo as a work shirt as D
Well, yeah,
tier.
but I was a manager, so
equipment.
I had to look the
Equipment?
I had to.
I
look
wore a
the part.
polo. Well, I get like
No, but it
What?
wasn't like an athletic polo like
Oh.
golf.
Was it like a cotton
It was
one?
like a cotton. Like,
oh
but
with
like
the shitty
it
collar
was
on
a
it
small
too.
store,
Yeah,
so
that's
I
a
wasn't
polo.
like running around.
No, I just mean like a shitty cotton collar that like it's all floppy.
Yeah, a lot of my assistant manager duties were just like sitting in one spot doing online orders.
That's
But-
not bad.
But even that couldn't save the business. But yeah, it wasn't that bad though. Like because I liked the people that I worked with, and as we might get into, that is one of the like best reasons to, or one of the best things about a job can be is the people that you work with.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Yeah. My first job was well, I always kind of grouped two of them together because they were like right next to each other.
Ben has had a lot of first jobs.
A lot of first jobs. There are a lot of first days on a job.
and first and only.
Yeah. So my first job was at AMC Theaters. I was a part of the film crew.
Is that what they called it?
Yeah, film crew. No, when I initially like signed up for the job, it was like, oh, film crew opening. I was like, film crew?
Yeah, that's how they get you.
Film crew? I'd love to work on a set. That'd be awesome. Just for AMC? Hell yeah. And I get in there, they'd be like, yeah, so you'll be doing concessions
You're
and ticket
And
sales.
if some kid pukes in the theater, you're gonna clean
Yeah,
it
you're
up.
going to have to clean it up. We got powder, though.
Human body fluid cleanup kits.
But yeah, that was my first job at 16. And I think I got it like
Why did
right.
you get a job?
I was bored. It was the summer after sophomore year. I had just gotten a car.
You had to be able to drive somewhere.
Exactly. I'm almost like 100% sure it was the week after school was over. I got the interview and started working. And I worked the entire summer until school started. And like literally the second week of school, I was like, how do people do this? And especially like AMC, like maybe they've changed, but the managers that I had kept me past fucking midnight all the time.
Yeah,
like,
that
cause
is not okay.
like I was only doing closing shifts. Like and it just like it was fine during the summer because I was up until like 4 a.m. playing with my buddies, but you know,
Yeah.
like as soon as like school starts, it's like, dude, you can't make a
Yeah, I
16-year-old like.
Don't get that because I feel like there's no standard when like there is, but I feel like every job I hear is different.
Yeah.
Like I'm like when I worked at Target, it was like, oh, you work 6 hours, you get a lunch. And so like you think that's everywhere, but then other places like, oh really, I work 8 hours and don't get a lunch. It's like,
Yeah.
what? How is that? And then like the minors having and it's like, how do you get away with this?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
That shouldn't be a thing.
No,
And they could probably get in trouble for doing it.
yeah, and like it was super fun, and the people there were awesome. It's just that like it was so much work being at work that I was like, I don't want to go home and do homework and shit like that. Like there are way better jobs for high schoolers to like be able to manage that and
What was
homework.
What was a lot of work part?
Like, dude, there were some days, oh my God, it was just constant flows of people. Like you would not see it now because of how theaters are after COVID. Like the market is horrible, but like I was there in its prime. Like this was right before Star Wars Episode 7 came out. It was like the summer before. Maybe it was the summer that it did come out. No, I'm pretty sure. I'll have to fact check myself. But there were just a bunch of like kids movies and stuff like that. There would be lines of people out the door, which like the theater's pretty big. That's like half a mile's worth of people constantly all day. And
So you just didn't get a break. You just didn't get a second just to collect yourself.
There were times where on my breaks, they'd be like, hey, Ben, can you end your break early and come help? I'm like, dude. Like,
yeah, that's not okay.
Yeah.
That's
like,
when a more mature person who's had more job experience would be like, no, I get my entire break.
Yeah, no. So like, and like I'd be shoveling popcorn. It was back before they had the Coke freestyle, so you'd have to fill people's drinks. There was hot dogs, fucking pretzels,
Hot dogs out the wazoo,
chicken tenders,
shaboing boings,
shaboing boings. No, and just like all that mixed with like cleaning up people's messes, going and making sure all the people get out of the theaters on time and all that. It's just ridiculous. And like to make a 16-year-old do that was so stressful.
Yeah, that's the first lesson. We have lessons now.
Yeah.
Is know like what you're like signed up to be doing and what you have the rights to as a worker, especially if you're just starting out, because then it's easier to take advantage of you. But if like they tell you when you get hired, you get a 15-minute break or 30-minute, whatever it is, then you take that
whole break.
Yeah. And like even at Target, like I would do a lot of electronics closing shifts, and we always had to have someone over there, but I wouldn't like to ask people like like to cover my break, because that's what we had to do. And so I would just not take my last 15-minute break.
Yeah.
Which was kind of annoying. But like, I don't know, because a lot of times I just ended up standing around or like be on my phone in the back anyway. So like I would take that as my break instead.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. But then I was like, why aren't I taking my breaks?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
I get it. Like I get a 15 minutes paid break, so I might as well use it.
Yeah. What was that like for you, Raegan, with like Hy-Vee and stuff like that? Because Raegan, that was your first job, right?
Yeah.
Not to speak for you.
Yeah, I started at Hy-Vee when I was 16. It was my first job. I started as a bagger.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's crazy, because Target didn't even have baggers. I was like, wait, so like how often do I get like a bagger? They were like, oh, you don't get that.
Well, I don't know. You're just like a little slave.
You're the box boy.
Essentially. Like you're supposed they call them courtesy clerks, but you're the ones that have to clean the bathrooms and get the carts outside and pick up the garbage.
Wait, so they also bagged?
Yeah, so they bag, they send them to the back, they make you stock things, they make you get the carts, they make you clean trash. Yeah, no, like courtesy clerks, like...
How many did you usually have in one shift?
It depends. I feel like when I started, it was obviously before like COVID, so I feel like a lot. But then I don't know, I quickly like became a cashier, and then I really wanted to do customer service, but there like wasn't a position. So my HR manager was like, Raegan, I can send you to deli. That's the best I can do.
Oh my, deli.
And so I went. I was like,
oh, you're like okay.
Oh, so you were actually a deli employee.
I wore this funny little hat.
Did you get paid more?
Yeah, I got a raise.
Okay.
So like
what entails deli being a more wild job? More worthwhile
because
job.
You're
stinks.
No, literally. I was cutting meat and cheese and stuff, and little kids would constantly be coming up to the counter. Can I try a free sample? Can I try Havarti? Like, I'm like, kid, who are you?
Did you give samples?
Yeah.
Really?
I guess.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, I'd be handing pieces of cheese out left and right.
Really?
Just with their little gloved hand, like give you a little skimp of turkey.
Much. But the worst part about it was at the end of the night, you'd have to lift up like the big cutting board, and it would be like wet with meat and cheese.
Yeah.
I did it for maybe 2.5, 3 weeks, and I like told my HR manager, I was like, girl, put me in customer service right now.
You're like,
I can't. And she was like, okay.
That's so stupid though. Like that there wasn't a position.
I
Like,
think she just said that to me because they like really needed someone for deli.
oh, yeah.
But the like manager over there was also like really mean. And also like Hy-Vee, like the deli people used to make like the sandwiches and wraps to like put in the actual case, but now they don't. Like they don't do that anymore. So that was like also part of my job.
That's what they do at Target deli.
Right? Because it's good then. Like now it's not.
like,
it's not good.
Well, yeah, it's all prepackaged and it's gross.
Yeah. So I did customer service for like a hot minute, and I like got to keep my raise when I did that. But the other thing is like I speak Spanish, and Hy-Vee like doesn't pay you extra for that, which
that's so
dumb.
necessary in a
in retail
grocery store.
because I used it a lot,
especially depending on where you work.
Yeah.
Or what part of the area you're in.
Yeah, I got promoted again, I guess. I started doing like cash accountability, so I was the one like counting down drawers and closing
They
drawers
just had
and
so
stuff.
many positions.
And then I like
at Target there was like 2 different positions you
yeah.
could have.
I eventually became a manager, and this was all like while I was still living in Lincoln, and I really liked my store and my coworkers and everything. And then I moved to Omaha, and I transferred to a Hy-Vee here, and it was just like a really bad experience, like right off the bat.
Hy-Vee's a local grocery store if you're not from the Midwest.
Yeah.
It's
like
they're starting to expand more though.
It's crazy how big it is here because it's like the grocery store.
It really is. I didn't think until we moved near one, I didn't think that we were going to go that much. But like that's the only store I go to now.
Yeah.
But it's crazy.
And it's expensive.
It is. Well, yeah.
Everywhere's kind of expensive now.
My dad actually stopped shopping at Hy-Vee because
Really?
it's so expensive.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised if my dad still shops there then because Hy-Vee's his go-to.
Yeah. I don't know.
We just don't have any other close
It
options.
just got like, well, we do.
Well,
Close. Not as close as we are.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but there's other options.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Would you say that it was a good job?
In Lincoln.
Disconnecting Lincoln from Omaha.
I learned a lot. I grew really thick skin. And
you got good experience.
I had to learn to
with
not,
everything.
Yeah, I had to learn like to not put up with stuff.
Do you think the experience was worth the turmoil? You know,
I definitely grew a lot as a person, and like, I mean, yeah, like obviously, like towards the end, like that was out of my control.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was like a good way to go out. If I had, if I had to go out anyway, like that was the way to go.
And those who were confused, Raegan had to leave for medical reasons, which we'll probably get into another time. But yeah, I just think it's interesting because like I have had a lot of jobs, and like I do think most of them were good. It's just that like either I wasn't ready for the job or they just weren't ready for me. Because like my favorite job I ever had was family video. Like that was honestly my dream
and you
job.
know what that is if you've seen Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, it's a video rental store, much like Blockbuster, but unlike Blockbuster,
Well, that's where it came from. Stranger Things, right?
Blockbuster.
What?
Family video.
yeah. But yeah, unlike Blockbuster, it managed to stay open until like 2021.
Are there not anymore?
No,
I bet there.
There's maybe one still open. They closed everything.
But at least here they're all closed.
Here they are all gone.
But what about Marco's Pizza?
Marco's Pizza is still a thing.
That's so funny because weren't they only attached to family videos?
Yes, it was to save money on real estate because they were owned by the same company. But anyway, yeah, no, that was my favorite job just because like I love movies and I got to talk about movies all day, put them on the TVs around the store.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a pretty chill job.
It was like awesome and like gamers, I got to be in the store by myself and basically be the manager without manager pay.
And you got to sell people CBD.
I did get to sell people CBD.
That's so funny because this article I just looked up, says family video. This is from 2021, so you're right. Last national rental chain is shutting down all remaining stores, and the little sign says CBD is 20% off.
Dude, it was so weird. I was there before they started
it's like
selling.
the last ditch effort.
Yeah, I was there before they started
ditch
selling.
Ditch or stitch?
Stitch.
Last stitch effort?
Yeah.
Oh, I said ditch.
That's crazy. There were 800 locations during its peak time.
That's
wow.
I'd believe it because they were very big and big enough to make it into Stranger Things.
Yeah.
But it was such a good experience because I got to be independent in my job, and I feel like that's helping me now because I have a very independent job now. But just the day-to-day work was awesome. It was a little boring, but but it was just the management. My first manager before they literally swapped stores was awesome. She was super nice. She's who hired me. And then the manager from the Bellevue store, I think she moved, or maybe my old manager moved apartments or something, and so they wanted to switch. Literally from the first day that she arrived, I was like, this is not gonna end well.
Wasn't that the one who would yell at you for playing PG-13 movies in the store?
She did yell at me for that. Yeah, that was a rule. You couldn't play PG-13 and above.
Okay, but
movies.
What PG-13 movie was it?
It was Captain America: Civil War.
Okay, come on.
So
that's
really,
a kids movie.
Literally,
Spider-Man is in it.
It's PG-13 for dark themes. That's what it is. No, but she was just a micromanager, and she would. There was one time where our drawers were short, and I would work with other people. I had 2 to 3 other coworkers that would
make you empty out your pockets.
Oh my!
Flip your pockets
she
inside
might as
out.
well have. No, I was working with my friend Connor at the time. I think he started working there before me, but I worked way more than he did. And we had a shift together, and I think after the drawers were a little short, and I don't think Connor stole money out of the drawer. That's just stupid.
Okay, but shortchanging happens literally
everywhere.
So often.
I would get in trouble with that at every single job.
We had a guy one time who faked the girls out behind the Starbucks at my store, and he gave him a fake 100 and then stole the tip jar.
Oh.
And I had to go over there and assess the damage and count the whole drawer down.
But yeah, no, I got written up for that at AMC, and it wasn't. It'd be 10 cents off, and they'd be like, "Sorry, we have to write you up." So it happened at Family Video, but it was I think it was maybe $1, and she was just like, "Well, what happened?" And I was like, "I don't know."
It's at that point, it's not even that it was just a mistake on everybody's part.
Yeah.
Because who's gonna try to quick change you for $1?
Exactly. And it's I don't know, maybe one of us lost $1 under the fucking drawer or something like that.
But it also could have been 4 quarters or an amount of cents.
No, literally throughout
$1.
the whole day we were open. And so then people are coming in and out of the store. She is standing behind me and she says, "Can you count this change out for me out loud?"
No.
I'd be like, "Oh, your change is $1.25." Be like, "Can you count that for me?"
So,
and I'd be like, $1.25. Here you go.
So, I did that at Gamers and Target just because I got used to doing that because we did a lot of trade-ins at Gamers where we gave people cash.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, and so I would be $10, $5, $6, $7, whatever, how much it was, and then drop the cents or whatever. And so that's just what I got used to doing because they're getting money that we are giving them.
Yeah,
it's from their games that they're giving us. Mm-hmm. So it's good. They should be knowing that they're getting the right amount.
Yeah,
but
it's intimidating. I did Western Unions at Hy-Vee. I would be counting thousands of dollars out.
Oh my God.
And I'd have to and when I had to do it in Spanish, oof. I'd be okay, no one say anything to me. Get out of my bubble.
Put earplugs in.
Because if I'm like 20, 40, 60, 81, and I'm like, stack, boom, like 20, 40, 60, 82, stack, boom, like I'm like in my zone. And then I'm like, and here's 5, 10, 16, 17 cents. But were you guys trained to like give people the change first? I did training on that.
How
You're
do you
supposed
mean?
to like when giving like change back.
Like the coins.
You have to give them the coins first into their hand, and then the bills, because they're like, because if you give them the bill and the change, the coins will just like fall off the dollar bill.
No, the bills are like a little bed for the coins to sleep in.
I do.
You fold it up, put it in your pocket,
I
the
do
change
get
falls
that,
down.
Though, but it's funny because my one of my assistant managers, old managers at Gamers, David, loved that guy. I loved everyone there, but he would count money. Like, he would hold the dollars like sideways, like in his hand, so he could see them like lined up, and he'd count them that way.
What?
Like, to do it like quicker.
No.
I
Yeah.
don't like that.
Yeah, that's what because he could see how they were like separate. And he's like, I only do it like when we're on like a time crunch.
No, that's scary. No,
Time
because
crunch.
No, but this dude is, it's like, he's smart. Like,
Yeah.
I trusted him. Like, well, it wasn't like my duty to trust him.
Yeah.
Because I was just working for him under him at that point. But like, yeah, it was kind of funny.
that's crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't think there were ever any issues, because like, I don't remember there being any issues
Yeah.
ever.
When
But
no, when I was at Hy-Vee in Lincoln, there was a manager who like stole thousands of dollars.
Oh my God.
And I was gone. I was like in Guatemala when the cops came in and arrested him in the front of the store.
so you're like, dang it, I missed it.
Well, he called me fat one time, so then I was like, he deserved.
Gone.
Well, yeah.
Bye-bye.
But no, that's intimidating. It's a lot of money. And like I said, we did Western Union, so like we'd have to like do polls constantly because the drawers were like always packed.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever like almost shit my pants before, but there was this one time I was working customer service and this guy came up to the counter and he looked at me and he said, I'm about to make you empty that drawer. And I shit my pants.
No.
I was like, this is it.
I'm being robbed.
I'm being robbed. And he just meant he was like about to like spend a lot on like lottery tickets or something.
Yeah.
Or like maybe he had like won a lot on scratchers
I'm
and I was
about
gonna
to
have to
empty
like
that drawer.
pay him out.
Why
But
did you say it?
no,
like that?
I was like, and then he was like, here you go. Like I was
I like
like,
to buy all your chocolate bars.
no.
Here's a gun in your face.
That's my worst fear.
Oh, yeah.
Being robbed. Because I know you're just supposed to give him the
I'm
money.
honestly
Well, yeah.
surprised I never got. Well,
We went through extensive robbery training at Family Video because we were working by ourselves.
Yeah. I guess
So
that makes sense.
so it was
But
like
who's gonna
dangerous.
try to rob Family Video?
exactly. No, they're trying to steal our CBD.
No, yeah, because like I thought about that at Gamers one time. I was talking to my other manager and I was just like, do you ever just think about how there's like thousands of dollars worth of consoles back here
Dude.
that somebody could that you're just like dealing with?
It's
Like you're just like
yeah.
throwing them
I can't
around like it's
imagine.
nothing.
Well-
But yeah, we couldn't like when we had to like show someone something, like if it was like a console, we couldn't let them hold it because they've had before people just run out with it. Yeah. And so so you just have to, and they'd be like, "What can I see?" I'm like, "No," and they'll be like, "Why not?" I'm like, "Just
because
why
you're gonna
do you- yeah.
run away."
Yeah.
Towards the end of my career with Hy-Vee, Hy-Vee decided that stores weren't going to be able to sell cigarettes anymore. That like just the like Hy-Vee gas stations
the
were.
worst.
So we had to like log
you.
and pack up like all the cases, like all the packs and
Oh, I remember
individual
that day.
cases of cigarettes and take them over to the gas station. And these people working over at the gas station like weren't paying attention and these boxes were everywhere. And these guys just came in and stole like crates full of full packs of cigarettes. It was like hundreds of dollars worth of cigarettes. Because like one like pack with like 12 cigarettes, almost always like
Probably, like,
$80 to $100.
Yeah.
Like there were ladies who would come in there and they'd be like, I need 3 cases of Marlboro Reds. And it'd be like, almost $200.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm
I'm
stocking up for the week.
no, literally the week. And I just remember because like we had a cop too, like at our Hy-Vee, and he was just like, "No way, man!
Ugh,
I was
soul crushing.
just over there," because he'd go like back and forth between
Yeah.
and we were just like, shit,
That would
like,
suck so bad.
Yeah, because I mean, people are so fast, and it's like you're not supposed to run after them, you know?
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah. But then it's like, it wasn't your fault, so it's like, whatever, man.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
they still blame you because you were the manager on duty. They're like, "Well, what were you doing?" I'm like,
It's like not watching them.
like
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, vacuuming by the front door because that's on my list to do tonight.
Oh my god. Yeah. No, it's just so like it's kind of crazy, like because you feel responsible for stuff like that, even though you didn't cause anyone to rob you. Like,
Yeah, it's like people just suck, which is one of the usually the worst part about jobs is the people.
yeah, no, the people. Well, okay, they're the best and they're the worst.
Yeah.
The people that come in most of the time are the worst.
Yeah,
Like
sometimes there's cool people. Sometimes there's people who try to be cool and be like, "Yo, what's up?"
Yeah,
and you're like, "Oh my, not this guy again." But then there's also
the Derek's.
Yeah.
God, not Derek. You see Derek on the schedule, you're like, God damn it. I got to be on for 8 hours. God. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think if I had like better, my family video like coworkers were super nice. It was just that like I worked by myself most of the time, so it wasn't really like that fun, you know. I like we'd overlap for like an hour and just chat shit, you know. But yeah, but like even in my current job, like I'd still work by myself, so I don't really I'll train people.
Yeah, but you get to wear headphones at this job, whereas
Exactly.
family
Dude,
video,
not being
like,
able to wear headphones at a job is the worst.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know why everyone just acts like it's like a cardinal sin to wear headphones.
Dude.
okay, it's only a sin when you're driving. The amount of people I see driving with AirPods in.
Yeah. It's like,
Dude.
like just use your car.
Dude,
Like, whoa.
think about like have you ever turned down the music when you're trying to find a parking spot?
Yeah.
Because
Obviously.
you're like thinking.
Yeah.
Like I just don't understand like how you could have I see people with full headphones on, like that we're wearing right now, like can headphones, just like while they're driving, and it's like you can't hear anything. What if someone's honking at you? Like,
And that's probably the same person who's on their phone at a stoplight, not noticing when it turns green.
dude, Omaha just has the worst traffic. And like I mean it's not I don't know if it's worse anywhere else because we don't really drive anywhere else. But like, or like, I guess everyone's just like, man, we have the worst traffic here. But like,
That's just because everyone sucks at driving.
Just because everyone's dumb. I got stuck behind some old lady today who was driving with her like hazards on, and I was like, I'm gonna pass this lady, right? And so I'm like sitting next to her at the stoplight, and I look over, and she's just like so perplexed as to like probably what, you know, the ding ding, like the noises in her car. And
she's currently driving.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, her hazards are on, and she looks kind of confused, so I don't think she's gonna go when the light turns. So I'm like, I'm gonna go. Like, I'm gonna pass this lady. No. Light turns, boom, like she's gone.
God.
And she drove like another like 2 lights with her lights flashing, and then she just like eventually like shut them off.
Dude.
Yeah, old people.
It's just so annoying. It's like I don't know, you know, you just lose something when you get old like that. Like because it's like everybody's capable of learning.
I'm a firm believer in that at like age 60, you need to like
hang up your license.
No, you just need to take a physical test again to see if you should be able to drive.
Yeah. Because some old people shouldn't even be allowed to like live by themselves. Like they can't even take care of themselves. So it's like, so why are some still driving?
We were out to eat at some place and we saw an old guy get up, and he was like so stiff, barely moving. And Raegan goes, "This guy's gonna get behind the wheel of a vehicle."
I say that all the time. Well, there's always old men just like.
It's like, well, yeah,
and I'm like, man, I don't want to be on the road when this guy's on the road.
Dude, driving's all about reaction time, and it's like if he can barely get out of his booth seat, like it's gonna be dangerous for all of us.
Yeah, and I'm visually impaired.
And you're visually impaired, and you are perfectly fine at driving.
Yeah.
It just stresses you out a lot.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not my own ability. It's other people that stresses me out.
Yeah. Yeah. We kind of got lost off of our work, our job tangent, but just to sort of wrap it up.
Yeah.
I think I really enjoy the jobs that I've had, and like I didn't get to say all of them because we'd be here all night. But for the most part, like, yeah, like I said, I haven't really had like a bad job. I've just had like bad managers and
yeah, because even like not just your coworkers who you have fun with, even just like the managers in terms of the people, like it all is all dependent on them too.
Yeah,
like if you're gonna have a good experience.
Yeah, whether or not you're getting taken advantage of.
And I feel like I've been lucky enough to have like good managers, and I've never really like, even like I'll go on like the Target subreddit and people be like, "It's the worst," like, "Oh, this," and I'm like, I've never really like, I'll complain obviously,
yeah,
but like it's never like because I think my managers are terrible like at their job.
Yeah,
but yeah, or just the customers that come in and are the worst, because some people just like act like they've never interacted with people before.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, my worst like customer interactions ever were at Hy-Vee when I would have to ID people for alcohol, because Hy-Vee, like, we had to scan them.
Most
like
places
it didn't
scan
matter.
them.
Like it didn't matter if I looked at you and I was like, you are probably older than like dirt, but. Yeah, and like at
and
like self checkout
so
and stuff. Like I had a guy one time trying to buy like a big old handle of like whiskey or something, and I was like, I need to see your ID, and he just right off the bat, no, you effing don't. And he was younger, and I was like, sir, I need to see your ID, and he was like, jack shit. Like something like that. And I was like, I need to see your ID or I'm not selling you this. And he was just like, fine then. And I just took it from him and started walking away. And then he started calling me like the B word and all these slurs, and he was like, you know what, little girl, and like got all close to me, and he was like, I'm gonna report you. And I said, my name's Raegan, go ahead, have a nice day, sir. And then he was just like cussing me out as he walked out the door. Like asking people for their IDs is like the most like,
it's like,
what? It doesn't make any sense.
It's like, what's the issue?
Because everybody thinks the government is tracking them like through their ID, and I'm like, guess what? The like they issued you this ID. You know who has your social security number? The government.
They actually gave it to you. Isn't that crazy?
At, like, Target, we didn't scan them, but we just had to ask for it and type the date in. And this older lady was coming by, and like I was doing the override because the person at the register wasn't old enough to sell the alcohol, and like she just didn't have it on her, and we were like, I think it was either in the car or she just didn't have it. And it's like, first of all, why are you walking around without your ID anyway?
Yeah.
Like,
no, the amount of people who are like, I don't have it. I'm like, how'd you get here?
Yeah. And like, they just get so mad. It's like, have you never been to this store before and bought alcohol? Because every single time you have to show your ID.
Yeah. What if you get pulled over on the way here?
It's also like groups of like younger people. Like it'll be like a group of 5 and 3 of them will have the ID. And then they'll be like, well, we have our ID. Why can't you sell it? And there was one time that I was like, okay, so what happens if I sell you this case of beer and you get in the car and then you open one up and you give it to your friend here who doesn't have their ID, and then you get into a car accident and something terrible happens? They're going to be like, oh, this girl working at this Hy-Vee sold you the case, so therefore she's responsible. And I'm like, I'm just not willing to do that for you. And then they just look at you like,
you're like, well, we wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Dude, okay. I want to close it out with this story that's very similar to that. This was during my first job. I went back to AMC when I was 18
For another
because
stint.
I was like, I don't have a job and I need a job. So
And they were happy to take you
They
back.
were very happy to take me back. And someone I had worked with previously became a manager, and it was a really busy day, and we're both up at customer service selling tickets, and one of the people I knew from high school walked in, and like I think my manager had to like go like clean up some popcorn or something like that.
Movie theater
things, you know, clean up a popcorn spill. And
in Theater 12.
And I think it was the Halloween movie had just come out, Halloween 2018. So it was rated R. And you know, we are 18, 17 at the time, still in high school, and his name is Alex. And he comes up with a group of 3 girls.
Well, actually, let's call him Johnson.
Let's call him Nene. He comes up with a group of 3 girls who don't all look the same age. But I know Alex is 18 because we're in high school together. Or I think we had...
And Alex is always talking about how old he is.
Yeah, always talking about how old he is.
Well, because it's 17 for an R-rated movie, isn't it?
It's 17, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just like, no matter what, he's 17 or 18.
Yeah.
So I sell him a ticket. And I was like, do you guys have your IDs? Because I did have to ID them. And they said no. And I was like, all right. I'll let you off the hook this one time.
No.
All right. So it starts picking up. The line behind them gets bigger. And Sean, my old manager, comes back. And we're both at the register. And he's like, well, I can help you girls over here.
Oh, no.
And, dude, I'm helping, like, this girl that was, like, right behind Alex. And the 2 other girls go over to Sean. And
okay, first of all, why would they do that if they knew they weren't old enough?
no, literally. When I said, I'll let you guys in, you know.
Yeah.
So they go over and they're like, 2 for Halloween? And Sean's like, can I see your IDs? And they were like, but he said he said that we could just go in. And I was like, and my face just fucking drops. Like I'm red. I'm like,
and you were like, I did not say that.
No, and Sean turns his head and looks at me and goes, did you tell them that? Right in front of him. He's like, did you really say that to them? And I was like, well, I know him. I go to high school with him. He's like,
that doesn't matter.
that's not our policy. That's not our policy. No, and I was just like, I was like, I'm sorry. I just thought they were,
and
you know,
like,
because
he's with his chicks.
No.
He's trying to impress
Literally,
them. He's
literally.
Like, I know
I was
this
like,
guy.
Yeah, no, and he was just like, you can't do that. Like right in front of this entire group of people, he's lecturing me like, we just can't do that. I'm sorry,
You little
like
boy.
And they were like, okay, I guess
but
we'll go see fucking Kung Fu Panda then. And then they snuck into the movie anyway.
It's like, why didn't they just do that in the first place?
Exactly. It's just like you had to get me in trouble. Like, come on. No.
You actually got yourself in trouble.
I got myself in trouble.
No,
I broke the rules.
This is what you should have done. You should have gone, I'm sorry, I can't sell you a ticket to Halloween, but I got a ticket for DC Super Pets you could have. Whatever movie's out there.
DC League of Super Pets. Yeah.
That movie sucks.
And you're like giving them the elbow. You're like
yeah. No, I'm cool. No, Alex, he's the best. But yeah.
I got you.
No, that story sums up my shitty theater experience. Sean was actually pretty cool though, but yeah.
He's just doing his job.
He's just doing his job, embarrassing me. Yeah, that wraps up this episode, guys. Have anything to close
I had
out?
a fun time.
No, we didn't really stay on topic, so maybe we'll get back to it next week.
Yeah, we'll just do a part 2.
Yeah.
No,
I think we covered enough.
we covered enough. Yeah.
There's always more to cover.
I didn't even talk about my new job.
Sorry.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. we have only the rest of our lives. All right.
And that's it for this week.
All right. Goodbye, guys. Have a good day, night. Thank you for listening to the second episode of Omahomies. If you like this, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with all your friends. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. And if you want to support us, check us out on Teespring. And don't forget to follow us at Omahomies Pod on Instagram.